Hi, Runner Story family. This is Allison Gilliard with Runner Story, where every story needs to be heard. And as a day before Thanksgiving, we just want to say how thankful we are to all of you who listen, to our Patreon family members, to our official podcast partners, and our 2 podcast partners for this month. That would be UCP Mobile and Fresh Junkie Racing. We are incredibly thankful to have companies and nonprofits that believe in the impact of the stories that matter, that connect us all, that remind us that, yes, we run, yes, we do hard things, but we are so much more than that. And I am incredibly honored anytime anybody wants to come and join us, whether that's a Patreon family member or you as a listener, or when we see things being shared on social media for Runner Story, or whenever somebody says, hey, we want to partner with you. It is truly an honor. And we just want to say how thankful we are. And from all of us at the Run Story team, we want to say happy Thanksgiving. And we hope you guys have such a great time on the pavement with family, whether you're doing turkey trots or getting out for a post-run or pre-run before that Thanksgiving meal. And just how thankful we are for everyone who, from race directors, and again, those that guide nonprofits and do all the hard things off the pavement. We just want to say thank you so much for all that you do to make our world better and our running community better. And UCP Mobile does such an extraordinary job, not only with those that have cerebral palsy, but also any disability, or as I call them, super abilities, that they provide so much for our community. And if you have a local one, then check them out. See what you can do to help volunteer or to help organize a fundraiser or whatever it is, because those are our fellow neighbors and we love UCP and what they do. And so thank you so much for sharing the stories and putting on such a fun event like Christmas Night and Light. It was so much fun. And thank you to Fresh Junkie Racing for all that you guys do. You give so much, which a lot of people don't realize. Yes, you are a for-profit racing company, but you give a lot in donations. And we just want to say thank you for that. Thank you for always partnering with Ainsley's Angels and what you do and how you provide for them and the donations that you make on their behalf. And again, for putting on such epic races. So thank you for allowing runners to have the stories that we have on the pavement. Definitely check them out at freshjunkie.com. You can also use code RYS15 for any Fresh Junkie races. Also, you can go and check out other codes on our social media posts as well. We have some Patreon and supporters, and we also have Runner Story team members who are also part of the Fresh Junkie family, and we're incredibly grateful that we get to share this experience together. All right, guys, you're going to want to lace up your running shoes, maybe even your trail shoes, to get ready, because we had the legendary, the winningest 100-mile trail runner, a shoe named after him. Whoo, buddy. All right, guys, you ready for this? Mr. Karl Meltzer. Yes, the Karl Meltzer. The Hoka Speed Goat is named after him. And what an incredible opportunity to hear his story. Guys, he reminds us to keep pursuing our passion and to stick with your passion no matter what. Guys, things are going to work out, things are going to go well, and then things aren't. So just to keep going. He also says that the body can do amazing things and to learn from our mistakes. So you go out there and a run doesn't work out. Okay, what doesn't work out? Or in life, what happened? Let's go back. Let's rewind. Let's learn from that and let's get better. I love that from him. And you're going to do it better next time. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. I also appreciated how he uses golf as a recovery. I thought it was pretty fun. I haven't thought about that. And also, whether you're a new runner or you're thinking about running or you're entering into a longer distance, whether you're running into the trails, whatever it is, Karl the Speed Goat also reminds us to respect the distance, because running far is hard, and to respect that. And that's an incredible reminder. And also to just blink. Just blink. So guys, you are in for such a treat with Karl and his incredible journey. So lace up those running shoes, get ready, get set, and go run with my friend Karl and his run story. Well, thank you, Karl, so much for being on the podcast. Very excited because, wow, I don't even know how to begin to describe you. Legendary, amazing, not human. Also, like, you have a shoe named after you. Who has that?
I think Michael Jordan does.
Okay.
Yeah, that guy. I think he does. I think it's not quite the same.
Not the same sport.
Deal, I don't think. Yeah, that is the signature shoe. Is called the icing on the cake. I've been around for a long time, running ultras since '96.
Wow.
And yeah, I've got quite a history. I've got quite a resume, all that kind of stuff. But the idea of the shoe came about in a random conversation. It was always on my mind like a long time ago. But when it actually came to fruition, I was sort of like, this is actually going to happen.
Wow.
So yeah, it was, I can get to that story in a bit, but when you live in a dream world, I sort of live in a dream world now where I became a runner because I love running, not because I thought I was going to be this ultra runner or anything or famous or whatever. I just like doing it and I followed my passion. And now I sit here in 2025, age 57, and I'm still running and stuff. And it's been a really good ride. It's quite a story
Yeah.
for sure. And yeah, it's been cool.
So how did we get here? How did you earn the name Speedgoat, get a shoe named after you, hold the record for the most wins of all ultra marathon 100 milers? How did we get to this point? Like, how does your run story begin?
It began when I was a kid, really, if you think about it. Is you really want to go back to the earliest of years. I grew up in New Hampshire, small town outside Manchester. If you go back to, we'll call it the early 80s, even late 70s, we were kids. We ran around. We played baseball on the street. We rode our bikes around in the woods and crap like that. Unlike what today is like, concerning their phones and their apps and their Garmin's and whatever. So I was just an active kid when I was young. Fortunately, I've had the genes where I'm talented at a lot of different things, like hand-eye coordination, good, reading books and learning bad. So, hey, the truth is what it is. So I was a kid who ran around. We used to race each other around the block running. And my dad ran when I was young with his neighbor and I followed him around, jumped on that bandwagon. Those are the very early years. And then that leads into high school cross country, high school track. And I did those things and I was good at it. I wasn't the best, but I was one of the top 10%, call it top 5, 10%. And then, but the real stuff that I really liked came when I went to Plymouth State College for only a year. I met a friend there. I didn't like school. Like I said, I don't like to open a book. And he just said, hey, let's go. His first comment was Big Sky, Montana, next winter, let's go skiing. I was like, done. And we ended up going to Jacksonville. We ended up landing in Salt Lake City at Snowbird and Alta. But the bottom line is that conversation I had with Andrew Tonelli, which was my friend there, that kind of started I'm going to call it my second life or whatever. I moved from New Hampshire. I go tell my parents I'm moving to Snowbird, Utah to be a ski bum. And my dad really wasn't, he got it. He taught me how to ski when I was 3. He understood that. Mom was not quite as understanding, but at the end of the day, we go out there, we ski 120 days the first year. We ski powder up to our waist. Everything's great. And initially the plan was to move back east and get a real job, which it really wasn't on my mind, but that was the initial plan. But I stayed out in Utah and I started running in the mountains. And just from a friend who said, let's run up to Secret Lake this week. And I was like, okay. So we went up there and I beat him up there. It was just like a 2,000-foot climb, 3.5 miles up and then 3.5 down. And I was like, oh, this is fun. And then every day I just started doing it. And running through the wildflowers, the mountains of Salt Lake City are really pretty awesome. And then I started running a couple races. I ran the first hill climb at Snowbird. First race I ran, I won it. And I was like, oh, that was okay. It was cool. But then it escalated from there. Where's the next race? What's the next cool race around here? I didn't really know much about Salt Lake in the summer. I didn't know which race was good. The Wasatch steeplechase race there that is old and classic, great, tough course. Jumped in that, won it a few times, and then decided the Pikes Peak Marathon was the next kind of big challenge. Got into that race, did the ascent, did the marathon. I never won that race, but 4th was my best finish. I did very well. And then a coworker of mine suggested that I run the Wasatch 100, which to me was a foreign thing. I was like, huh? 100 miles? And you're like, what? But my husband Rick has done it like 7 or 8 times so far. I'm like, okay. So yeah, so I had to think about that one for a second. But I jumped in the race. I entered the race and the goal was to finish. I was leading the race at mile 39 because I was a faster, shorter runner. So I didn't really know how to run 100. I just was going for it. And I ended up blowing up and yada, yada. I came in 28th place in 28 hours. But the bottom line is that like most people that finish their first 100, they're like, oh, I'm never doing that again until 2 days later. They're, where do I sign up? That's pretty common. That was the start of me running hundreds. And 2 years later, I won Wasatch and broke the record. And I was like, oh, the 100 miler. And then it escalated to like, I always liked tough routes. Salt Lake has a lot of tough technical trails. They're steep, they're rugged. So that was my backyard now. Then I went after hard rock and In 99, I ran Hard Rock and I dropped out at mile 92.
Wow.
That's a whole nother story, but I was leading too until
Mm.
I was passed and I dropped. But at any rate, I went back in 2001 and broke that record by 3 hours. And at the time, it was like, no one's ever going to break that, Karl. You'll die with that record. And I was like, I don't know about that. But the bottom line is that was the Hard Rock 2001 is what sort of told me or said to me, hey, Karl, you're pretty good at this.
Mm.
Why don't you just keep bartending in the winter and running in the summer? It happens. And with that came little sponsorships and things like that. And then Red Bull picked me up after that win at Hard Rock, which was a big thing because not only is Red Bull, it wasn't like they were paying me a ton of money,
Mm-hmm.
but Red Bull is big, right? Red Bull is like, they have very deep pockets. They hold back with things, and being on that team and what they do with their athletes is instead of just saying, okay, here's your 20 grand a year or whatever it might be, go run for us. It was more like they would promote the athlete to make them better. And like they say, we like to help our athletes realize their dreams.
Wow.
And so when I'm hearing this, I'm like, oh, wow, okay. That helped a lot with my career because they put me out there. Then I just started running a lot of hundreds because that was really my best distance because I was never a super fast runner. I was, like I said, I was good when I was younger, but I wasn't that good. I wasn't a 4-minute mile kid in high school. My best mile was 4:27. And that's not bad, but that's not well. So anyway, that started it. Montreux picked me up, and then there was a couple other small sponsors. And again, they're basically giving us free shoes, tiny bit of travel money.
Mm-hmm.
Although Red Bull gave me travel money whenever I needed, but everyone else was, we'll give you 5 pairs of shoes a year. And I'm like, okay. But at the time, that was great, right?
Yeah, sure.
And that's what started it. But I realized the 100-mile distance was really what I was best at because there's a little more strategy involved. There's more to it than just running a hard 10K.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started running a lot of them every year. And I was winning a lot, not everyone, but I was winning a lot of them. And jump forward 20 years later now, having 50 100-mile wins is more than anyone. And that record might stand. Closest to me is Jeff Browning with 33. And he's only a couple years younger than I am, so he's not still young. He's not going to win 20 more times probably. So the bottom line is that record may stand, but that's kind of the long version of how it started. Now it's my legacy of the shoe. The Speedgoat name came from just seeing a jackrabbit cross the road driving home from the Pikes Peak Marathon. My buddy just said, my buddy's like, hey, it looks like a Speedgoat. And I was like, that's a cool name for a shoe. And yeah, right. And so I bottled it up inside, and then I talked with Hoka in 2009. No, I think it was 2012 maybe, or 10 or whatever. Well, hey, let's make a shoe called Speedgoat. And I didn't even know I was talking to the president of the company.
Wow.
At the outdoor retailer show in Salt Lake. I was at the booth and I was just working, and I was talking to this guy shooting the shit, and happened to be, his name was Jim Van Dyne. He was the president at the time. And I went for a walk with him around the venue, and I just, hey, wouldn't it be cool to have a Speedgoat shoe? And he's like, yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Let's do it. And I was like, okay. And at the time before, I had actually trademarked the name 2 years before. All the athlete endorsement trademark. So in other words, obviously when the name is Speedgoat and you use my name on it, they got to help me or take care of me.
Yeah.
So call it that. So that was involved with it, but that's how the shoe came about, the idea. And then before, like a year and a half later, it takes a while to create a shoe.
Sure.
A couple years, whatever. But then it was out on the market, and I was like, okay, here we go. And then it really did. The first version was, I call it fair at best, but its versions have gotten better, and they make up and down sometimes, but we're on number 7 coming. And the shoe has, last year, the version 5 was like the number 1 trail running shoe in the world.
Wow.
And that is, I give Hoka all the credit for that, not just me, because their brand has grown exponentially over the last 2 years, and they've become huge, which of course doesn't hurt. They've become the Red Bull of trail shoes because they started the whole idea of the fat, comfy, soft shoe, started with Hoka. And now look where they are now. They do like $2 billion in sales now a year, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So for me, I've got the shoe line, and I'm like, okay, now I have a perpetuity deal. And it's like, I'm not Michael Jordan. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing anywhere remotely near that. But at the same time, I'm really happy with what Hoka's done. And they've supported me for a long time. And what can I say, right? It's a dream world.
Absolutely.
So it's super cool. Yeah. Who would have thought, right?
I just can't even begin to imagine, like, how much, when you were like, I want a trail shoe, did you have input with Hoka? Were you like, hey, as an ultramarathoner, this is what I want in this shoe?
It was one of my favorite shoe before Hoka even existed. Okay, was the Montreal Vitesse, and you may not remember
No.
that shoe a long time, if you do or not, but that was a soft shoe. It's very different than most red running shoes.
Okay.
And I loved that shoe. And when I went to Hoka, I was like, we want a shoe that's soft. We want a shoe that's obviously soft is going to happen, but grippy was something that was really important to me because I run on technical trails.
Sure.
And at the time, Hoka didn't have, like, when you have a shoe company, each shoe was made for a certain different terrain or whatever, right? At the time, Hoka didn't have that soft, grippy type. They didn't have that category filled yet. So call it that. So this is good to fill that category. So timing was right, and they filled that category. And as far as me having input, yeah, I had input with the sole, like the way the lugs were shaped initially. They're a little different than they were then now, but we work every version is, what do we do different? That was part of it. The softest amount of cushion, I wanted a certain amount. I wanted a certain amount of drop, which is 4 or 5 millimeters. But then the upper was mostly them because they're the shoe designers. They're the guys that put it on computer paper or whatever. Like I said, I don't like open the book. So leave that to them. But no, it's like a team effort. And every time we have a new version, I'll get a prototype and I'll throw in my 2 cents. Whether they change something or not is always, who knows? But yeah, I have some input now. It's not as much as I used to, but at the same time, you're looking at a $2 billion company now that has all kinds of testers and designers, and there's so many moving parts now. At that time, when I started with it, it was like, I knew everybody that worked with Hoka. Now it's like, I know the designers and I know, of course, the athlete people and stuff like that, but I don't know everybody like I used to.
Yeah.
But now it's cool to have some input, and it's an honor for them to come back to me to say, hey, Carl, what do you think about this? And I might not be good. It might be, oh, this is stupid, or this is good, or this is bad, or you should try this or that. And then we just see when the final version comes out, like when number 7 comes out. I haven't seen number 7 yet. So I don't know exactly what's in their headspace, but I will soon, I think. We'll see. But yeah, it's just the whole thing is the honor. And every time I run down the trail and I see people wearing them, I don't always stop and say hi to people, of course, but it's like, wow, that guy's wearing them. And I see people wearing them. I bump into the guy at the host stand at the brewery and he's wearing them. And I bump into somebody at the gas station and she's wearing them. It's just not just runners. I think they were so comfortable for what they were designed for. And then they're also good for just people going on hikes, walks, whatever, and good for that too. So you see them on a lot of people's feet. And that's like the coolest thing ever. I don't know if Michael Jordan thinks that when he sees Jordan Air Jordans out there at this point, but when he first saw it though, I guarantee, even though he was making millions as a basketball player, but when he saw that, I'm sure he was like, wow, this is cool. I got a shoe.
Oh, I can only imagine. That's amazing.
It's a cool honor to have. And I don't think I know other ultra runners don't have one yet, but they also didn't come up with the name Speed Goat. Speed Goat is a great name for it. There's no question about it. It's a good, catchy name, and it's like anything else. Once it rings with people, it kind of sticks.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. Carl, so there have got to be some lessons that you've learned from running, especially in the ultramarathon world and in trails. It's not easy.
No.
So what are some lessons that running has taught you?
Yeah, lessons from running. You can do a lot more than you think you can. That's a standard quote thing, but it's the truth. Whenever I tell someone that doesn't know my story at all, I'm an ultramarathoner, my specialty is kind of 100 miles. And what someone will say, I couldn't even drive that far. That's hands down the most common response. Sure. And you can't actually go that far on foot. You just have to put your head to it. Like 100 mile, and even any ultra, really, for any people, it's headspace. I've learned a lot. If you just keep pursuing your passion, it might actually start, the coins might still drop right in your jar. That was something I just stuck with my passion. And I said, I'm going to figure out how to make this work. But as far as running goes, it's like, you can do a lot more things than you think you can. I think a lot of people give up early on things. Being a good long distance runner, even if you're not that fast, just completing them is hard, but you'd be surprised at, let's go to any 100-mile race and watch the last 2 hours of the race. You don't watch the leaders because those guys are skinny guys and girls, and they're fast and all that. But go to the back of the pack, and half of those people that cross that finish line do not look like runners. But they did it, right? The body can do an amazing bunch of things.
Absolutely.
And that's something that I learned, even if I'm doing something like building a rock wall, or I like to do landscaping projects around my house too. So I'm doing something like that. It's like, take your time, do it right, and learn from your mistakes. Again, learning by doing, not by reading. I would always have to make that mistake first. But every time I made that mistake, whether it was a bad race or it was a mistake on that rock wall or whatever I was building, I would always be good at learning from my mistakes and making my races better or my projects better. So you can always learning by making mistakes is my best thing, what I'm really good at, because once I get something right, I try to stick to it and it just gets better and better.
Oh, that's so good. Amazing. Let's shift to the question of what is your favorite race? Because you've done quite a few of them.
I've done a lot of races. I think my favorite race has to be Hard Rock 100.
Okay.
First 100 with Wasatch, which is also a fabulous course. But when I came to Hard Rock in 99, it was my first time in Southwest Colorado to the San Juan Mountains. And now I live in San Juan Mountains. Now I live here.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. But when I first saw these mountains, I was just like, wow. It was, I don't know if you've ever been down here or not before, but they're very steep. There's a lot of 14ers around, and a zillion 13ers. And it was just, this is the bomb. And the fact that we're running 100 miles through these mountains on one big loop was awesome. Mont Blanc, Chamonix is a fabulous course too, a fabulous place. But it's a little bit, the race is, in my opinion, is too many people. It's a Congo line. It's fun when you're in the front because the Congo line doesn't exist, right? And for years, the first two times I ran there, I was near the front. I had my chance to win the race the one year. I didn't. I ended up dropping out, but it's different in the front than the rest of the pack. So my favorite race is definitely Hard Rock, but there's so many great classic old races. Zane Grey 50 is another race in northern Arizona that's just a point-to-point, all single track, super rugged. Back in the early days, you run that race, when you finished, your legs were scratched up from the briars, from the, not really the briars, it was just more like this overgrown trail, but it was rough and tough, and that was what I was good at. So when I would race there, it was my kind of terrain. So I really liked the Zangray 50. Was a great race too. The exact same course doesn't exist anymore. They actually started making the trail smoother, which was lame.
You're like, we are hardcore here.
Yeah, we are hardcore, but I just ran the I Am Tough 100. What a fabulous course that was. There's a lot of great courses on the East Coast. Hellbender is a great 100-mile course. So I really, at this point in my career, I'm not winning. I'm not going to win anymore, but I'm seeking out those courses and races that I haven't been to yet, which there's maybe 10 of them or so that I haven't really run that are classics. But yeah, Hard Rock's the best. But I think the Alps are the best mountains to run in. Why? Because that I've been to anyway. The Alps are San Juan's on steroids. So yeah, big mountains. But I just like the big mountain stuff. Been to a lot of desert runs too. But the mountains are where my heart really is.
Wow. That's incredible. Is there a race that is not your favorite, or you were like, I never want to do that one again? Or you're like, I want to go back and try it again?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. So in 2000, I think it was 6 in December, I ran a race. It was a 24-hour track race in San Diego, 24-hour. And I was fresh off that Hard Rock win in 2006. It was a record time, blah, blah, blah. And so I went down there thinking, oh, I can do this. And of course, it's flat at the track, right? And you just, every 4 hours, you run one direction, turn around, 4 hours, go the other way. And me and this other guy were running about 8-minute miles for quite a while. But it was so boring. I expected that, but it was a challenge I was looking for in a sense.
Sure.
But after about, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 hours, I starting to get sore, of course, and all that. A couple more hours go by. I'm just tired. I take a nap in the 8th lane. After 11 or 12 hours, I get up and I walk over to the table and I'm like, I'm out of here, man. Like, I can't do this. I was so sore, Allison. I can't even tell you.
Wow.
And so I jumped in my car, in my truck. It was a pickup truck, actually. And I had a buddy with me then. And we drove 13 hours straight back to Salt Lake. And I don't know, I'm not going to say I hate the race, right? But it was definitely the worst race. I was just like, I would never, ever do a race like that in my entire life again. I don't care. You could pay me $1 million. I will not do it. Because it's just, yuck.
Did you go back to do it though?
No, I did not go back to do it.
Oh, you're serious? You're like, I'm not doing that again.
No, I never went back to do a 24-hour event. I never went back to do anything that's really flat. I'm not saying it's not a good race. I run some flatter races for sure, but that are okay. But
you need mountains.
I need mountains. I need some races where you actually hike and the terrain is variable for me to enjoy it more.
Sure.
It's amazing what people can do in 24 hours. The world record's 200 miles now, and that's off the chart. And then and it's amazing in its own sense. It's just not for me.
Mm-hmm.
So once I discovered that at that San Diego race, I'm like, yeah, well, check this box off. I'm out of here. Let's do something else.
You're like,
yeah, that was probably the worst race. I've had some bad races and all that, but that was one that I just was like, this is just dumb. In my opinion, I'll say.
Absolutely. I would equate that to like the treadmill. Or like same thing. Nothing's changing.
You put your fan on if you want. No, thanks. I think I ran on a treadmill for 40 minutes one time when I had a back injury. I had not run all summer, and I was running the Wasatch 100 2 weeks later. No, that was about a month later. And I had a back injury, and I had to go to I saw a physical therapist at the time for something. And so I ran on the treadmill for a while to see if I was okay. And yeah, it's a long time ago, so forgive my memory. But it was like the Wednesday before the race. I went up to Park City and I ran on a treadmill for 40 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, I guess my back's okay. I felt like it was okay to start the race.
Mm-hmm.
So I started the Wasatch 100 and I won it. And that was essentially off the couch because I had a bulging disc in June that spring too. And that was pretty crazy, but that was the only treadmill run I've ever done. and I'll never go back. It seems like it takes, time stands still on that thing.
Oh,
you just
100%.
don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
I hate it. Yeah. I will no longer run. If I was forced to run on a treadmill, I would not run.
I got it.
Do not like, it's terrible.
Let's switch to what routines look like for you. Do you have a pre-race routine?
I taper before a race, and everyone has their own sort of taper.
Mm-hmm.
I play that mostly on feel. But as far as a real pre-race routine, no, I don't have anything specific.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my training, I'm a coach and I have plans that are right for people and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But generally speaking, it's based around how you feel as opposed to this is your strict plan, Karl. You must stick to this.
Sure.
As far as hill workouts, speed workouts, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I generally play that off feel. But my pre-race routine is, I think, for running, especially the longer races, is to make sure that you sleep enough hours per night to get proper rest.
Mm-hmm.
Because rest is important, is just as important as training.
Sure.
So I'll make sure the week or two leading into a big race that I rest. And I put everything else aside. Like I need to sleep. I'm going to bed. That's one thing that's really important. I don't have any specific diet that I have when I go before a race.
Mm-hmm.
You could see me eating a burger and fries. You could see me eating pizza. You could see me eating a verde burrito. The key factor is that if the race starts early morning, I'm eating earlier than my norm at the evening before, because you're in the morning, you have to go to the bathroom and that kind of thing. And you want to get that taken care of. But that's just common sense to me. It's not really a routine. A lot of people have routines and there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm very old school. And I think if you're running these longer, like 100 milers, if you really think the verde burrito is going to be bad for you 20 hours later, it's not going to make a difference. Carb loading is not going to make any difference. Just eat what you like to eat and what you know your body will accept. I started with fiber stuff beforehand because your stomach moves more, but I've always had an iron gut and I never really have stomach problems during a race. So maybe I'm gifted like that, but I never have those problems. So I just do what I want and I keep my headspace right. And if my headspace going into a race is good, the race will probably be fine. If your headspace is not, if you're like, I don't really want to be here or something like that. And there's been races like that too. Then you're already starting behind the curve,
Oh, yeah.
Want to be like fired up for it and just run smart. And I think usually turn out the best.
That's good advice. I like that.
Yeah.
When you cross the finish line, you're done. What does your post-race routine look like?
First, I sit my ass down. I mean, that's important because I try to sit during the whole race, right? You don't want to sit down. It's the whole beware of the chair, right? But yeah, obviously sit down. But I'll drink my recovery drink, which is Ultragen from First Endurance. The stuff is cold, but that's just part of it. Then you basically just start eating. You want to keep eating when you're done. Some people can't because their stomach was a little upset or whatever. But for me, it's like, let's eat. But for the next, say, now I'm older, so I usually won't run for 5 or 6 days after a race, but I will go for walks. I will keep moving. I'll work in my yard or do something that's, even if it's just 20 minutes, then take an hour off, 20 minutes, take an hour off. I keep moving. And if you sit still, it's not just that you'll get stiff sitting still. It's the fact that you're not recovering. You're not keeping the blood flowing to recover faster. So you do need to keep moving. But generally, like I said, I play lots of golf too. And golf is like your greatest recovery thing to do because you're walking a lot and you get to play this really cool game. And I'm pretty good at it. So it's fun. And that's always a post race thing. Like the last race I finished was Iron Tough, and I golfed like every day. Well, I took a few days off first, but then I've been golfing 5 days a week since then.
Wow.
And running a lot too. I mean, not a lot, but running every day as well. I'm recovered from Iron Tough now, but now I'm fine. We'll say that I'm finally recovered now. It takes me 3 weeks, especially age 57 takes you longer. But yeah, the key is to keep moving. Whatever you do, you've got to keep moving or you'll fall into this hole. The biggest mistake you can make is to, even if you have this fantastic, wonderful race, jumping back into it too quickly can usually lead to a demise like 3 weeks later, where all of a sudden you're back to being really tired again. And then you got to recover from this fatigue again and you fall behind. So it's important to gradually build up without overdoing it. That's one of the best pieces of advice I can give people. And a lot of people don't do it that way. I feel great. I did 10 miles on Wednesday after the 100. I'm like, bad idea, dude. And then they'll pay for it later. And then the following day, I can't even move. I'm like, no shit. Too early. So it definitely takes running a lot of racist experience to realize that's the best way to do it. I mean, I made mistakes early too. I got right back into it a lot of times too. But now I've learned as I'm getting older too, is that you've got to respect your recovery as much as you respect training. It's really important to recover properly before you really start getting to our next training block.
Yeah, that's really good. When you mentioned that you play golf for recovery, do you have a favorite recovery tool besides doing golf? Is there a certain tool that you like?
I like my drill.
Yeah.
No, as far as you mean like a recovery tool, like a ball or something like that?
Yeah. I just didn't know if there was something else that you liked, or you're like, no, I just like movement and golf.
No, I don't have a special tool, but it's fair to say that I don't go see a masseuse. I never see a massage. I don't like anybody touching me. But I'll do my own self-massage in certain areas that are tight or something like that. So I pay attention to that too, and to try to work that out as each day goes by. But that's all on my own. It's not, there's nothing wrong with seeing a PT or a masseuse or whatever. But for me, it's always been, I'm stubborn, so I'll just do it myself, figure it out. But yeah, I don't go for the Theragun or the things like that. I have some really cool rapid reboot things that go on my legs.
Yeah.
Well, they feel great. Don't get me wrong. And I do use those when I'm done after hundreds, but do they really do something? I'm still tossing a coin up on that.
Okay.
They feel good when you use them. There's no question there, but does it really recover? I don't know.
I got you. Okay. All right. I got to know, what is your favorite running item? You will not go run without this item.
Music.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I just have, again, I'm back to old school, right? So here's an old school story for you. In 2001, when the iPod didn't exist, the iPod Shuffle was the greatest thing ever. We'll just say that to start. But back in 2001, when we were running, we would clip on that Sony Walkman on the back of our waist pack. And it's pretty big, right?
Yeah.
With a tape set in it.
That's right.
And I could be running top speed or whatever, reach behind there, reach in, open it up, flip the tape, put it back in, turn it back on without even looking at it. And I would listen to the same tape. In 2001, when I won Hard Rock by 3 hours, I listened to the same tape over and over, which was mostly Grateful Dead, String Cheese Incident, and Strange Folks, 3 bands. And I love listening to good music when I'm running. And that's definitely, if I forget my headphones or forget something, I'll drive back home 20 minutes and get it.
Wow.
And drive back to where I'm going because to me, running it's dancing in the woods in a sense.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, running, I like music. I don't listen to many podcasts because I like music.
Yeah.
That's fair. But yeah, that's something that once I started listening to music, I was like, how can you run without it?
Yeah.
That's just the way I am.
So what's on your playlist now?
I love the Dead jams. I would never call myself a Deadhead because that's different. But I've seen a lot of Dead shows and I really love good Dead jams. But the only music I really don't like is just the heavy metal kind of screaming crap. I call it crap. I like anything from John Denver to 70s music to Bee Gees to 80s rock, which is what I grew up in. Yeah, I like just about anything other than hard stuff.
Got it. Normally, I would ask, what's your favorite running shoe? But I'm going to assume you're going to say the Speed Goat.
That's pretty much it. There were some good ones back in the days, but yeah, I mean, that I don't always wear that shoe. I
Oh, okay.
sometimes wear that. I wear it most of the
Mhm.
time, but I like the Tecton X too that Hoka has. Obviously, I run for Hoka, so I'm not running in all kinds of brands, right?
Sure, sure.
So someone asked me that question a lot. It's not that I'm biased, but if you run for a company, you're not running in everybody's shoe, right?
Sure.
I don't know
Mhm.
what the Mount Toast feel like. I don't know what Solomon's feel like. I
Mhm.
don't know what it feels like. I might like them, but no, the Speedgo shoe has been great for me in terms of which version. I like the version 5 the best. I know 6 is out now, but I like the 5 the best so far. And for me, again, it's soft, it's cushy, and I have quite a few pairs of them.
Sure.
I don't even know how many pair I have, but yeah, obviously that was a biased question,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
I think it's a great question, and I think the answer was great.
Like,
So I love the community of trail running and ultramarathoners because you guys fuel completely different than road races and marathons. So what do you like to fuel with?
primarily I drink water,
Okay.
straight water.
Mhm.
I eat gels. First Endurance is my sponsor, so I eat their gels,
Mhm.
but I also eat some other gels too because the variety of flavor is just the reason. It's not because one's better than the
Mhm.
other. I think a lot of gels work, but gel is the best fuel, I think, for any race. But nowadays things are getting so complex. There's
Sure.
all there's high carbs, there's this, that, and the other, and
Mhm.
there's liquid calories, all liquid. I think a lot of guys and girls are using more liquid calories, just they're getting them in their drinks. But I always started with drinking just water. Water to me is always the equalizer. So if you're having problems with too many calories or too little, water, you're getting nothing. You're just hydrating, right?
Mhm.
When you're eating gels, one gel, let's say each gel was 100 calories, right? I know they're different now sometimes,
Sure.
but let's just say that they were 100. You can completely monitor exactly how much you're taking in at one pop instead of drinking liquid calories where you might have a bottle of, you put your scoop of whatever powder it is, you put it in, it was 250 calories in that scoop. But what if you drink only half that bottle to the next aid station and they top it with water? And so your numbers change a little bit.
Mm.
So it's easier to monitor. At least for me, it was easier to monitor by doing just straight gels. I mean, I think when I ran Hard Rock, I'd eat 50 plus gels
Wow.
in a race.
Okay.
And I drink a little soup bouillon.
Mhm.
That's a stomach thing. Soup bouillon is always great for anybody's stomach.
Sure.
I'll nibble on things now like mandarin oranges in a cup,
Mhm.
like with the syrup.
Mm.
Fantastic. Pineapple was great. Those are like the 4 things that I generally eat in a race. And as far as electrolytes, I'll use salt stick capsules again, because again, you can monitor exactly how much you're taking in
Mhm.
as opposed to it all being mixed in with the drinks. And if you're doing just water and then doing just capsules, you know exactly how much you're getting as opposed to this mix of different kinds of things and all these concoctions. And a lot of times I think people's stomachs go bad because they're taking in too many calories at once. They
Mm.
don't even really realize it,
Mhm.
but they're actually taking in too much. That's what causes a lot of stomach problems. It seems anyway, with all my clients I've had, that's always been the culprit is like too much. It's not a buffet out there, folks, for that 100 miler. It's you gotta treat your food like an IV drip. It has to be
Mm.
drip the whole time.
Mhm.
And that takes practice. I've done 100 plus 100 milers, so I know what I want when I need,
Mhm.
but that's been done so many times. You got to understand that it's not just hire a coach. She tells you to eat this and it's
Sure.
perfect.
Mhm.
It's not like that. But then again, what's slightly different thing, like when I did the Appalachian Trail a number of times and the Pony Express Trail, I ate whatever the hell I wanted to eat because I was so hungry all the time.
Sure.
After when you're doing 50 miles a day on a trail like that, I was getting plenty of sleep,
Mhm.
but my food intake was after the first week, I was so hungry all the time. I pulled over one place in Virginia and I ate an entire pint of Ben Jerry's ice cream. So we're talking 2,500 calories, whatever it was. I ate in like 10 minutes and just moved on, kept going. Who does that, right?
You had to eat it
Nobody.
before it melted.
Oh yeah, like I stuck that thing down so fast. I had to melt it a little bit so I could get it down faster. But that was on something like that. It's
Mhm.
different
Yeah.
because you're not going as hard.
Mhm.
Your heart rate is lower. You're in zone one, or you're not working that hard in terms of like your heart rate. So you're able to process the food and all that. So you can eat. I eat whatever on the AT. I'm like, just keep feeding me. And I did fine. I actually, when I finished the AT in 2016, when I broke the record that year, I weighed only 3 pounds less than I started. That's amazing because
Yeah.
usually people get depleted by the time that's, especially FKTers now. I don't know when Tara finished the AT this year, how much less she weighed. I don't know. I didn't talk. I know Tara pretty well actually, but I don't know how much weight she lost, but I was really good about just feed me.
Mm-hmm.
The videos of me eating, the Red Bull video of me eating food was, I don't know if you've ever seen that thing, but that was pretty comical because, again, Red Bull made it go viral. And it's me eating chicken legs and cheeseburgers and ice cream and chicken tenders. And it wasn't all like that. I
Yeah.
wasn't eating all candy,
Mm-hmm.
but they made it portrayed as the fact I was just chowing down a ton of food. But again, it just depends. Race food is always going to be super easy to digest kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
bottom line.
That's amazing. Do you have a favorite running memory that when you think about running, it just makes you smile?
Running memory that makes me smile. In 2001, when I won Hard Rock, this one, every time I look back at that race, we were there for 3 weeks beforehand, camping at 11,000 feet with my buddy, and we're hanging out. And we got wind that Sports Illustrated, when it was actually a magazine then, right? Sports Illustrated and National Geographic were both there to film the race and write up a little story. And I said to my buddy Scott, I said, same guy about the Speed Goat name, same Scott. I'm like, dude, I would think it would be a really good year to win because of Sports Illustrated and National Geographic.
Sure, yeah.
And then when I go through the race, I had 3 pacers lined up. All 3 of them had to bail because of whatever reason. And I'm like, I guess I'll have to do it myself. And I was like, suck it up, Buttercup. So I just did it. And when I came down to the finish line, down the side road there, Silverton, towards the gym, there was all these cameras. There was like 6 cameras on tripods set up all in a row, waiting for the leader to come in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here I come running down the road, and there was nobody at their cameras.
Oh.
And it was just getting light out. It was 8:30 in the morning. Yeah. So I guess it was light out. So I'm coming down the road, and I put my hand out the side, like, where is everybody, right? And there's one photo in a centerpiece of Sports Illustrated of me holding my hands out, like, where is everyone? one guy ran out of the gym and got the photo, right?
Wow.
And that memory of mine I remember what I was listening to. I was listening to that tape, like I said, when String Cheese Incident was playing. And that's one of my greatest memories because that really is the race that sort of elevated my career and took me into the next level of, okay, they weren't paying us much money, but you're a pro athlete now. This is where it started. And that's a really great memory. I'm hoping that right now, like I finished 91 100s now. My goal is to get to that 100, which should happen in 2027. Hopefully it's at Hard Rock in 2027.
Wow.
Which will be my 10th Hard Rock and my 100th 100-mile finish. That's the goal.
Wow.
I got to get in to get that happen, but that will be a special moment too.
Sure.
And those 2 things are big, but there's so many races I've won that were special. There's nothing, winning never gets old. Don't kid yourself. I don't care if it's a small race with 30 people or it's the big one in Mont Blanc. It's cool to win. It's fun when people are chasing you and you're being the one. Fun being chased and never getting caught. You never get caught by the cops when I was a kid. I'm not getting caught by the people chasing me in the race either.
I will have to take your word on that because I don't get chased. So I'm in the back of the pack.
You can never take it back in high school.
Do you do any cross-training activity? I know you've mentioned golf and you've mentioned working around your house. Is there another sport like biking or swimming or anything that you like to do as well for cross-training?
If I try to swim, I'll sink to the bottom. So I stay away from
great. Yeah, let's not do that.
terrible swimmer. I never tried. I do ride my bike when something's up with running, where running gets bothered by whatever reason. I'll ride, but it's not particularly like a cross-training method.
Okay.
Like when it comes to, there's nothing wrong with weight training. Don't get me wrong. I think it's good for ultra running. I don't do it though, because I do a lot of yard work. So I like building stone walls. I like doing things like that. So if I'm out doing that all day long, I think that's plenty of cross-train or work. I like to create things and then use those as ways to either work out or I've done a lot of crazy things in my days. I've created sled tracks in the mountains, in the snow. I've created croquet courts. I've created all kinds of different things. You can Google Karl Meltzer luge run if you've ever seen that before. Write that down because you need to see that. Okay. Seriously, it sounds like when you see it, you'll be like, yeah, wow, that's pretty cool. It was built by one guy, me, with a shovel.
Wow.
And it was hours and hours of work. But the joy of sledding, when you see it, you'll get it. But when the joy of doing that, I grew up sledding a lot when I was a kid. My dad built me a little sled trail, right? So now I'm 50 years old out there doing it myself. But the fun thing is when you build something and you create it, then you get to use it. That's priceless.
Yeah.
And that's something that I like to do. And even though nobody's paying me to build them a sled trail, but I tell you one thing, if anybody ever rides my sled track, they'll get it. They'll understand, wow, that is really amazing.
That's cool.
No one sleds like I sled.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to somebody that wants to start running or wants to get into the ultramarathon world? What is a key piece of advice? Or because you're a coach too, so what is something that you tell your clients that are either one wanting to get into running or that's, hey, I kind of want to dabble in this ultramarathon world?
I think the most thing for one people to understand is you don't get there overnight.
Yeah.
I mean, just because you hire a coach doesn't mean in 3 weeks you're going to be like, bam, I got this.
Yeah.
I'm going to be this good because I've got this talent. I was really good in high school. So why can't I run? If I can run a 2:40 marathon, man, I should be able to do like a 13-hour 100-mile or no problem. It's not that it's different. It takes a while to reach the level of confidence to get good at something. It won't happen overnight. So in the course of, if you're getting into it new, you have to understand, give it time. Like those first 3 weeks are probably going to hurt the most because the first week is hard. Like you go out, even if for me, even if I say I'm injured for a while and I'm coming back, the first run it's not hard to run 5 miles, but I might actually be sore the next day.
Sure.
And if you're starting out new, you're probably going to be sore for those first couple of weeks, but that soreness will subside and your body will start to adapt to it. The key is to obviously not overdo it, but you've got to understand that it takes time for that repetition to work for you. Your best thing to do is to be consistent, I think, as opposed to think. A lot of people will train where, hey, on the weekends, I'm doing back-to-back 25 milers. And then during the week, maybe they work full time. Most people work full time, right? Of course. So their time to run is limited. So they'll run very little in the midweek. They'll do 225 milers and they won't run for 5 days. They'll do 225 milers. You're better off just running 5 miles a day every day. And consistency factor will build you better than those long runs. Those long runs they can sometimes give you confidence because they're, if I did 25, why can't I do 50? But from a fitness perspective, you're better off to be more consistent and give it time. I've had a few people that I've coached for a number of years and I've watched them progress slowly and to the point where now it's like some could just coach themselves at this point because we all have our certain ways of doing things, but they're still progressing and getting a little bit better every time because I think the experience of the races helps a lot. And don't expect running far is hard. A lot of people put a plan together to run 100 and they put these split charts together and at mile 80, I'm going to pick it up. No, you're not going to pick it up. You're not going to pick up your knees when you get going because you're sore and you're tired and nobody runs negative splits. The reality of it as a coach is like, if you can run a 20-hour 100, which is good, your first half is going to be 9 hours. Your second half is probably going to be 11. That's just, you might feel like you're running the same speed the second half, but you're not. You're going a little slower. Your brakes might take a little bit longer or something. So just respect the distance. Respect and don't think that just because you're a 3-hour marathoner, you're just going to keep that pace going for 100 miles. It's not going to happen. It's every once in a while, someone will bust something. And that's how it is. But it's really rare to see somebody just bang it out.
Sure.
Like out of nowhere. It's just, you got to respect the distance.
That's good. I like that a lot. Do you have a mantra or a saying or something that you tell yourself when you're like, I want to stop? It's gotten too much. Is there something that you tell yourself to keep going?
We've all had lots of bad patches out there. And when we have a bad patch, for me now, I just laugh at him. Hey, here we go, Karl. He gets to see something. Shut up. One of my good quotes is live first, die later. And then I say 100 miles is not that far. But I also tell myself to just blink because if you just blink, all of a sudden it's over. For example, I've driven across the country dozens of times, probably a couple dozen times. And it's a pretty long drive. It's 2,500 miles or so. I can bang that out in 2 days usually. And when I'm driving along, when you first start, you're like, man, you start going and you're like, it's 8 a.m. You're like, I'm going to drive for another 14 hours before I sleep. And it seems like it takes forever. But then I tell myself, I just blink and you'll be there. And then I blink and I'm back in New Hampshire already.
Wow. Time
goes fast. Like, I can't believe I'm 57 years old.
Sure.
When I was in my 20s, I'm thinking, 20, 25, that's so far away. Here we are. Life is short and take advantage of it. When something you think is going to work for you, try to take advantage of it. I've been very lucky nothing's been given to me. I'm not a trust funder. I'm not any of that, but I've been very lucky. A lot of things have fallen in my lap.
Sure.
Like the move to Snowbird fell into my lap and this turned into this. The thing walking around the OR show turned into this. I let things come to me, but if I feel like it's good, then I'll say, oh, what can we do with this?
Mm,
I've been very good at that. And the temptation of money, of making money, has never been something I've been drawn to.
sure.
I've let it just come to me, however it might come to me. I don't know what's next, but obviously you got to make something, but I just live first. I
Mm,
could fall out the window tomorrow and be dead.
yeah.
Anything can happen.
Sure.
Live first now, and then worry about your retirement fund later.
Mm.
Don't get me wrong. I've got a retirement fund, but I'm not worried about it later, but I'm just saying it's not something that it drives me to
Sure.
just, if you die with a lot of money, what good is
Yeah,
that? Dude?
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I want to have nothing left when I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
When they say he who dies with the most toys wins, I think they're wrong because what are the toys going to do?
Yeah.
Can't sell. I don't know. Yeah. Just live first, man.
That's so good. I can appreciate that very much. So much. So you've mentioned upcoming, you have your 100th that you're looking at. Any other goals that you have?
Oh, I got to break par golf. I so much. My best round this year,
Good
73, which was 2 over. I was only 73, so I went. Now, other than that, I really don't have any major goals
Okay.
other than projects around my house. But those are endless. I now have 6 acres of land, which means I'm never going to stop working on something.
Sure.
But those are just simple around the house goals. But in terms of running goals, I reached a pretty high pinnacle
Sure.
that I don't care if someone beats it. I'm going to applaud them. First, got to applaud them.
Yeah.
But it would be cool to win one more 100 miler before I hit 100 of them.
Mm.
And I don't know if that's going to happen. I doubt it. But if it did, I want to be able to say now I have majority vote because I have 51 wins. That way I own the company, so to speak, like majority vote. But I don't know. It's been 22 years in a row that I've won a 100 miler, a week one. And this year I haven't won one. My last one is Devil Dog, which is in December. And I'm probably not going to win. Don't get me wrong. There's a super outside chance at the moment. But if that record comes to an end, which it's likely will, it's going to be a sad moment in a sense. Because every year it's been like, am I going to win one or not? Yeah, I mean, it's just from a running perspective, get that 100 first. And people have asked me, are you going to retire? Then I'm like, I don't know. I can't answer that question because I like running far. I like doing things like that. And who knows? Maybe I'll run 105 of them. Maybe I won't. I regret the 14 that I've dropped out in because I'd have 100 by now. Right? Every time I finish, I'm like, oh, you got one more. But it is what it is. And the only thing too is that no real elite runner has finished 100 of them.
Yeah,
There's been about 40 people in the world that have done it, but not someone who's won a lot. So
I was going to say, there's nothing to snuff at. And
no.
at the records that you have and the fact that you're going for 100, like that's pretty gnarly. That's pretty wild.
It's different racing when you're not racing to win because even at I Am Tough, I was 8 hours behind the winner, right? I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
You guys, when you get older, you have to learn to accept that. Like, hey, it doesn't matter how hard I train. I'm not beating a 25-year-old.
Sure.
Don't kid yourself out here. It's like you feel like, oh yeah, I have a good race, but wait a minute, he's running away from me again. It's different now, but I still like it. I still enjoy it.
That's incredible. Just incredible. Do you have I know obviously your 100 milers are your favorite race distance, but do you have a favorite mileage for training that like, you're like, ooh, I get to go run X amount of miles today?
Most of my training is not really high volume. So a 10 miler to me every day is plenty.
Okay.
It's more than enough, actually. A lot of my days I do about 7 or 8. Even when I was training for back 20 years ago, I ran hard a lot when I was younger. I was always running up a mountain and then running down the mountain. And I was training pretty hard. My average mileage is probably 60 to 70 miles a week with about maybe 18,000 feet of climb.
Oh.
That's about average. That's far enough for me. I know what my body's capable of. And that worked for me back then. I know a lot of guys now are training. Walmsley probably runs 130 miles a week without even blinking. Kelly Jornet runs 500 a week for all we know. But because he's amazing. But for me, that's what worked. And like the 7 to 10 milers is enough for me every day. I don't feel like I need to go out and run 4 or 5 hours a day to be. I don't think I'd be at this point anyway. I don't think I'd be any faster at the long distances if I ran more. It takes me longer to recover.
Sure.
So it works against me. So right now I run about 40 to 50 miles a week now, which isn't really that much, but it keeps me fit enough to be able to do what I need to do. And that's just finish the race.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
It's not that hard for me to finish him now because my headspace is blank, dude. It'll be over.
Wow.
and it's over.
That's so good. Wow, that's amazing. So you like to play golf. You like to work on your house and around your house. Anything else that you're passionate about or that fuels you when you're not running?
Just being able to not have a real job.
It's fair.
It's, again, like coaching is a job, of course, and running is a job. I get it. But when you're able to make your own hours for the most part, that's priceless. And every morning when I wake up, I don't think I got to be in at 9 or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't ever, any day of the week, do I ever think that. And when I started coaching in 2008, that's when that began, because I stopped working at Snowbird in 2007. I was a bartender, ski bum bartender, which the job was fun. It was great. It was cool because I got to ski all the time too. But the fact that when you wake up in the morning and you say, what am I going to do today? That's absolutely priceless. So if anyone's out there is looking for a job, my best advice is to try to find what works for you and try to find a way to make a living where you don't have to talk to the boss. You're the boss. You're the boss of your time. And if you can be in control of your time, then life is so much more enjoyable than having to punch in or whatever, all the work. It's just, once I was able to do that, my freedom, my world changed, because my freedom to do whatever I want to do is, like I said today, I might be late for the podcast. My tea time was, it was frosted last night. So there's frost on the greens. I couldn't pay. So I wasn't sure if you get there in time, but I had that option to say, hey, it might be 10 minutes late. Gave you the heads up.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. No, I appreciate that.
yeah. But at the same time, that's really priceless to me, is to be able to do that.
That's amazing. Any final words of wisdom, Karl? I feel like you've given us so many nuggets, like, of knowledge. Like, I'm just like absorbing it all. But is there something that you're like, the people have to know from the speed goats?
Well, I think I answered that question when I just mentioned about trying to find your own way to create your own time. Because whenever that may be, even if maybe you do become a lawyer or a doc, if you're a doctor, then you got to work. But what I'm saying is that, again, find your own way to make your own time and take advantage of things when you feel it's right. Be kind, be nice to others, be responsible for your actions, that kind of stuff. But it's like, you only get one chance on this earth, right? So if you get the thing, or if you've ever seen my movie Made to Be Broken, or even the Hoka video where it says, oh, I had to get a job. And they show me standing there in a suit at this little Hoka video we did. I'm standing there in a suit. I'm like, I cannot imagine myself doing that. And that was the thing where, when we grew up, it was like, okay, you've got grade school, you've got high school, then where are you going to go to college? When you go to college for 4 years, are you going to get your master's? Are you going to graduate and go get your job, your career, and work for 40 years and then retire? That's just not, to me, that is, nowadays you can make time on your own, right? It's like the internet and all that stuff. It's so much easier to work from home and things like that. Back in those days where I was young, it was like, oh, you go to college, you get a job. That was like, then when I became a ski bum, I was like, I don't want a real job. I want to, every day in the winter, I'd be like, hey, Pete, we going skiing? Oh, yeah, I'll meet you up there at 9. We'd be on the tram at 9:25 and we ski all day long. And then I'd go swill drinks, make drinks for 6 hours and go home and maybe if we're lucky, we made $100 a night back then. And that was like the greatest thing ever, because we were able to ski for free. And again, we're out there, freedom on our own. Nobody even had phones then back then.
Yeah.
So we were just, see at the bottom, that's it. We raced the tram down, but it was, like I said, I'm rambling on here, but my advice is to just do what you feel is right for yourself and try not to be dictated by others telling you what's right, because what's right is what you think is right. And at least that's the way I live my life. If I feel it's right, then I'm going to do it, and I'm going to own to my mistakes. I make a mistake, then, well, I'll fix it. That's my problem. It's all on me. It's like racing a 100-miler without pacers. I haven't had a pacer since 2004. And I'll never have one again, because it's all on me. And if you put everything on yourself, it's up to you to make the decisions. And I've done that all my life, and I think it worked out pretty well.
Karl, you are just absolutely amazing. Thank you for all the knowledge that you've given us, and especially me, and for creating the Speed Goat, and for just being the incredible legend that you are. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks very much. I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
And reach out anytime. I'm always around.
Maybe on the golf course.
Maybe on the golf course. Exactly.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, Allison. Great. Thanks.
Wow, what a story. Thank you, Karl, so much for taking the time to sit down with us and to share your story, to share the story of the speed goats and just how much fun you are at running, and the stories that you've shared are just absolutely incredible. And for the tidbits of knowledge, like, it was really, really good. So thank you, Karl, for sharing your story. And we wish you nothing but the best on that next upcoming 100 miler. You're going to be absolutely insane. We are so, so proud of you. And thank you for sharing your story with us. And thank you to Fresh Junkie Racing and to UCP Mobile for partnering with us with Run Your Story. They believe in the stories. They believe that the running community can make a difference and does make a difference. And so definitely check them out. Whether you're Mobile or you're in another state, check them out and see how you can get involved and help your neighbors. And also, we'd love to have you join a Fresh Junkie race. It's so much fun, and they do such a great job. Also, thank you to Greg Gilliard from Gilliard Tech Services. Thank you for what you do in pouring into the running community through Run Your Story, through showing up at races, through cheering other people on. And also, we just want to say thank you for believing in Run Your Story. And we're so grateful for you and what you do. And guys, if you need somebody to edit your website, definitely check him out. Or if you are like, I want to start a website, but I don't really know what to do, Gilliard Tech Services is here for you. They've got you. He knows what to do. He would love to sit down with you and brainstorm with you or help you update that new existing one. And he believes that you can be seen online. So your story, your website matters online. So definitely check him out at Gilliard Tech Services. Definitely have to give a shout out to Dave, the blogger, because guys, today is his birthday. And so we want to say happy birthday, Dave. He is chugging away at 38 miles, and we are so stinking proud of him. We are so thankful for him. He just released a new blog for this month, so definitely check that out as well. We appreciate Dave and all that he does. And our two brothers from Louisiana, Stefan and Scott, we thank you guys for what you do with our booking and scouting. They do such a great job. They have us booked for quite a long time, which is great. We love that. So many stories to tell. So thank you guys for being a part of the Run Your Story team. We love you. We adore you guys. And again, Dave, happy birthday. To our Patreon family members, we absolutely love you. Thank you for making this possible. I mean, guys, who knew we'd be sitting down with the speed goat himself to hear his story? So thank you for believing in this podcast. Thank you for all that you're doing and just supporting us financially and making sure that the burden is carried along with us. So thank you so much for that. Thank you for believing. Thank you for sharing the podcast. Thank you for your love. We just absolutely adore you guys. And thank you to everyone who listens. We hope that you had a blast listening to this story and many others in the past and coming up. Guys, there's incredible people in this world, and you just have to sit down and you just have to listen. And we're incredibly honored that they want to share their stories with us. So thank you to everyone who listens. We hope that these stories impact you and inspire you, and that you get on the pavement and you go run your story because it needs to be heard.